guys, I hope you're doing so lovely today. Today we're going to be talking about how I feel about modern dating. I have very strong opinions about it, which should not come as a surprise because here we are on the internet where everyone has a strong opinion about everything. Just know ahead of time I'm going to be saying things like men and women. I don't mean this as all men and women. I hate that I have to clarify that, but it's just a generalization from what I've noticed. And I'm making this video because somebody actually asked me what my views on modern dating were after I had left a comment on one of Amala's videos, which it was about entitlement and how entitled specifically women are these days in terms of what they think they deserve and the treatment they deserve for doing nothing, for just existing, okay? So the comment that I left on that video was actually referring back to a story that I had heard from one of my male friends about this woman that he was talking to and how he messaged her, and then she immediately suggested that if he were to continue talking to her just via chat, then he would have to pay her to have a conversation with her. And that's crazy. Now don't get me wrong, I am a woman, I care about women's rights, I care about feminism and everything that it stands for, right? However, I think that modern day feminism is having such a negative impact on everything, but it really impacts relationships. So there's a big problem with feminism right now, okay? And the thing is that the entire concept behind feminism was to symbolize female empowerment and kind of work towards this point of equality. However, it kind of turned into this downward spiral, and then it just kind of turned into like this whole power struggle where women were trying to fight for equal pay and equal rights, but they weren't able to do the equal amount of work that a man does. And that's where the problem lies. I know that that's kind of like separate from dating, but it'll tie into it, I promise, so just hear me out. I think that there's a big issue when it comes to the balance in society of femininity and masculinity, because females are trying so hard to be in positions of power right now, but they don't want to be in positions of power if they have to do as much work as a man does, because they cannot physically do some of the things that men do, at least not to the extent that they do them. So naturally, they're not going to get paid what a man does if he's doing more work and harder work. But then social media, which is a whole thing, has blown up this perspective of female empowerment into like this boss babe, don't need no man, independent, get that bag type, dark feminine, all this garbage, trying to say that like this is female empowerment is when a female is independent and can handle herself. Like, you should be able to handle yourself, but that doesn't mean that you don't need a man, okay? That really messes with the entire balance of society, because men are finding it harder to provide for women when they have this need for power, when they want to be in a position of power because they think that it's what they have to do. Because women are so persistent right now on the fact that like they don't need help, they don't need a man, they don't need someone to provide for them, men are starting to lose touch with their masculine side because it's getting harder and harder to find a woman to provide for. And similarly, we're seeing another group of women who are going a completely different route where they're trying to make as much money as possible, but they're doing it the easiest way. So by that I mean selling their body, which is going to throw off the entire balance of society in general, because they're willing to do that, and there's also so many men that are willing to pay for it and buy it, and it's easy money, and it's easy validation, easy connection, but it's fake connection. And it's through a screen, and it is empty and hollow. It's a problem. But women are seeing this opportunity to grab men's attention, and men are giving them that attention and that money, and then the women are shocked when they can't find somebody later in life that wants to settle down with them, that wants to provide for them. It's because like everyone else has already done enough providing for you. You're not showing anyone that you are secure, that you have your life together, that you know who you are, that you have self-respect. Why would anybody want to raise a family with you if you've been putting out your entire body for the entire world to see for money? Like, it's not classy, it's not cute, it's hot to complete strangers for a little bit until they've gotten what they needed and they're done with you. And I mean, you made however much money. Where's that money gonna go towards though? You're not trying to find a relationship, and that man that's paying you from behind a screen, states away, countries away, is gonna have such a hard time finding a wife because he has now learned that all he has to do is pay money for somebody to notice him, for somebody to give him the time of day, and to feel that connection. Even though it's not physical, it feels real and it's easy. So in a broader sense, I'm just going to say that I think that the main issue with modern dating today is the imbalance of masculinity and femininity, because there has to be that balance. There has to be yin yang. And yeah, men are more powerful physically, but women are more powerful emotionally, and they nurture and they take care of the home. It's what they're supposed to do. And I realize that that's hard to do in this day and age, because it's really hard to afford things. Like, you have to work, you have to, like, it is almost impossible to start a family, raise a family, and just be in a house and survive with just one person's income. I get that. I really do. But I do think that just in terms of mindset, there's no appreciation anymore for the other gender. And I think that that's so important right now more than ever. We have to be able to acknowledge each other's strengths. We have to be able to say, this is what I bring to the table, I need someone who's going to bring this to the table, and then meet somebody who matches that. If you go out into the world and you're cocky as all hell and you say, I have everything, I can do everything by myself, I don't need anybody else, I'm fine, you're not fine. Like, you'll see so many men online talking bad about women, about like how they're not loyal anymore, they're all just trash, you can't trust any of them, there's no such thing as a traditional woman anymore, and that's all they want, because they want to build an empire. So then they'll say that whole spiel on their phone, record it, post it, and then immediately go from that to the hub in a matter of seconds. Because they're not willing to acknowledge the strengths of women. They're not even looking for it. They're expecting to see a traditional woman with an online presence, like in the videos that are demoralizing them and objectifying them. They expect to meet a traditional woman. However, they don't even see women that way. They don't see real women. They want a girl who's gonna look like the ones that they see online, that aren't real, by the way. Totally fake. No one looks like that. And no one's enjoying that. Whatever's happening on those sites, they're not enjoying that. Those videos are cruel and toxic and unrealistic, and they're a poison to society. So a man is gonna go watch that and think that he's gonna find a woman like that who's gonna be traditional. No. So that's what I'm saying though, is like, a man will complain about everything about a woman, but he still needs her as like eye candy. He needs something to lust over. I'm not saying this is all men, I'm just saying this is for the ones who are imbalanced with their feminine and masculine energy. They think that they have alpha energy, yet they objectify women like that, and they don't even realize they're doing it, and they still expect a traditional woman to gravitate towards them. That's their first mistake. On the flip side of that, how many times have you seen a woman online talking into her phone complaining about men, and you thought, man, you wouldn't even have that house to be sitting in if it wasn't for a man? You're sitting in there complaining about a man, but you don't even realize, like, you don't take into account everything that men do. You're sitting there on your phone just complaining and yapping about everything wrong with men, but you don't ever take into consideration all of the good things that men have done, all of the good things that men can provide, all of the things that you are taking for granted as you sit there and complain about men on your phone in a house with 4 walls and a roof that you're lucky to be sitting in right now, and you wouldn't be there if it wasn't for a man. But you don't think about that kind of stuff. You think about how it's going to benefit you right now. And you haven't found a man yet that gives you that short-term satisfaction. So you just assume that everything's wrong with all men. Why is it that if a woman leaves the relationship, the man does not have to take on that feminine role to keep the household running? However, if the man leaves that relationship, the woman has to take on the more masculine role as well as the feminine role to keep that system of the household running. Men are essential. And for all of the women that are acting this entitled and treating men like they aren't worth anything, and that us as women, we deserve their money just to be spoken to, like, get over yourself. Don't be charging people to talk to you, because I doubt that there's anything that you're gonna say that is worth any amount of money. If you're charging for a conversation, you better have the most philosophical knowledge ancient Chinese secrets, Elder Scrolls, Krabby Patty secret formula. You better have something worth money. But I doubt you got any of that. So now I also think that there's a big issue just with social media, technology in general, because there's too many options. In this day and age, it's easier than ever to just swipe through options, option after option after option after option. Like you're not getting to know these people. You're choosing which one looks the best and just hoping that they work out, hoping that they can provide stability in your life, hoping that they're stable, hoping that they mesh with you. The amount of people that you've missed out on because you didn't get to know their personality first, it's insane how many people you just, because you didn't like how one picture of them looked. People are too picky these days, and it's a superficial kind of picky. It's not even like I know my standards and I have expectations and like I have self-respect and I want a partner to meet these standards and meet me where I'm at. That's one thing. But just looking at a picture of someone and going, no, I will not talk to you, I don't want to meet you, you're not worth my time. It's sad. It really is. And on top of that, with the whole technology thing, it's getting easier and easier to cheat. Because again, those options are always there. And it's easier than ever to just pop onto your phone and look at all of the options and all of the people that will see that you're in a relationship and they'll still cheat with you. Because people care too much about short-term gratification. They don't care about making things last. They're thinking about what's going to benefit them right now. They're looking for that quick dopamine hit. They're looking for that connection that feels like it's gone after 4 months of dating and things are starting to get comfortable. Things have started to get boring because you're not in the honeymoon phase. After about a year, you start getting sneaky. You start finding ways around it. And you cheat once and that turns into twice and that turns into 3 times. You just get better at hiding it. And that's not okay. And while I'm on that topic, I think that when you get married, there should be some form of punishment for having an affair. Because when you get married, you are saying your vows, and that is now a legal contract. There's witnesses, and you decided to sign that contract. You decided to say those vows. I would compare it to when you're in court and you give your oath on the Bible that you'll tell only the truth and nothing but the truth. And if you don't do that, there's a punishment for that. So why is it not the same in marriage? No one takes marriage seriously anymore. People think that they can just get divorced whenever there's an issue, and then divorce is just as bad because, like, I forget what the statistic is, but women initiate the majority of divorces in marriages. And yet somehow, no matter who's at fault, the woman is still going to end up with more than the man. The man's got to buy this expensive ring, y'all got to pay for this expensive wedding, invite your whole family there, and then one or both of you is just going to throw that all away by cheating after giving your oath to this person, after saying your vows and dedicating yourself to this person and this person only for the rest of your life. That's a serious thing, and if you can't commit to it, then don't commit to it. But I think that if you're going to, then there should be a punishment when you don't follow through. You know how many more marriages would last longer if there was some form of consequence? But there's not. Why? I just realized that, like, my arms were crossed. That's how you know that I got really serious into that. I got, like, ready to fight somebody, you know? I don't want to be in that vibe right now. So I gotta stop talking about it. But that's the general idea of how I feel about modern dating, and I don't want it to seem like I'm against just women or I'm against just men. It's not about that. It's just about finding that balance mostly and taking relationships seriously and taking connections in general seriously and respecting other people and not just seeing them as an object and like that you can just swipe across the screen and go, no, you're not worth my time. I think everybody's worth somebody's time. Everybody has something important to say. Everybody can gain something from another person. So just think about that next time you're on Tinder and swiping away. Actually try to build connections. Actually try to get to know a person. Don't just look for the next person to sleep with. That's trashy, and you're not going to get anywhere with that. You'd be surprised how quickly you'd fall in love with someone's personality. It's possible. Maybe they're the funniest person you've ever met. Maybe their music taste is exactly like yours and you've never met anyone like that. Maybe you guys have really similar backgrounds and you don't even know it. you would have never guessed. Just give people a chance and take it seriously when you decide to commit to somebody, because that short-term fling and that one-night stand, it's not worth it. Love yourself, love your significant other, love everybody in your life, spread nothing but love, positivity. Feel free to leave your opinions down in the comments below. I will be sure to read them. I will try to respond to all of them, and y'all's support means the world to me. I'm glad that I got to talk about this today because I've been wanting to for a long time. So if you like this video, if you could do me a solid and show me some support by liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing, and of course hit that bing bong so that you never miss a new upload from me. With all that being said, I hope that you have a week as beautiful as you, and I hope to see you again in the future. Now go drink some water, you neglected houseplant looking ass. I love you. Bye.
Smells like toast.